Exception is a 2D action platformer with a few twists, quite literally, as the world can twist and rotate around you as you progress through the levels. So whilst it is a 2D game, essentially 2D platformer, you will notice that it is actually in a 3D universe, so you'll see potentially the future path forward on other planes of existence going out in the Z spectrum lines, and you have to anticipate where you're going to jump through these transition points that the world could be rotated around you and that you're then going to have to progress through that parts of the levels. And whilst the levels are designed that you can run through with some precision platforming and then get to the exit, it might not quite be that simple as you might gather. Because the world twisting around you and even teleport points may leave you a bit confused, sight reading to try and make your way through, but you can learn the levels and learn some paths to get through, and that's where the challenge comes in. But not only that, as I said, there are a few twists in this game, and I didn't just mean the twisting worlds and the teleportation and, sometimes reconfiguring of the levels. The twists are that whilst it is designed for you to run through as fast as possible, there are certain modifiers that you can do in the levels that do reduce your time. So you get time modifications, for example, not taking any hits on the level, clearing all the enemies from the levels, hitting your allies and destroying everything, even chaining some combos together whilst in the midst of one jump. And each of these reduces a certain amount of time from your score, so you have to plan your path to go through the level to try and maximise your reductions but minimise your time, and the balance then comes as to how you want to do that in order to get the best score possible. Now, the leaderboards are all on the Steam leaderboards, so it's incorporated into Steam, so there's a challenge against the whole world, and you can obviously compare with your friends on Steam leaderboards and things like that if you want to just have your own challenges with your friends as to who can do the levels fastest. Now, although there is this competitive aspect, which is going to be the main part of the gameplay, there is actually a storyline that goes along with the game, and it's set inside a virus attacking a computer in a 2D universe. It's very much Tron sort of style, and you can see the nods with the electronic universe within a computer that hints towards a Tron sort of universe, but essentially it's more macro robots and things like that, and you unlock each bit of the story after every single world. So you start off with one bit, and whilst you might think that you're progressing through and getting storyline for that individual part of the world, it's just one encompassing story that you just unlock a bit more memory of. So you're uncorrupting the world, you're uncorrupting a bit of your memory essentially as you progress through, and then remembering the whole storyline, which is a prequel to the gameplay really. And the storyline adds some stuff to it, so it's not just, running through, bashing everything, so you've got some fun storyline to go with it as well. Now, the gameplay seems to be across 16 worlds, each with 10 levels in. Not all of them have bosses, some have some variations like outrunning the big virus, chasing you down and special things like that, so there are sort of interesting twist to it, and each boss does seem unique with its own challenges. Whilst it has a hit bar and a way to hit it, there's a slight difference to unlock the exits of each boss, and it's adds variations to the gameplay. And the game does get more challenging the further you get into it, so whilst the initial worlds might start out taking you about 10 minutes to complete, because you can get through them fairly easily, as you progress further into the game, about halfway through, they're going to take you about 20 minutes, 25 minutes per world, and then, it's going to get even harder than that. So there's a fair bit of gameplay in it. It does suggest on the Steam page that there are 800 Steam leaderboards, but I'd suggest if there are 16 worlds and 10 levels each, that seems like 160 levels, so I don't know if there are special leaderboards for if you don't get the bite, which is the hidden thing in each level. Well, not each level, but most levels. So you do get exploration if you want to go get the bites, which adds to extra gameplay to go play, far from just going for the speedruns to try and get the highest possible leaderboards. And if you want to do that, which is what sort of game this is really, so you're going to get a lot of gameplay through trying to master the levels and, you know, get the best score possible as you learn the best route to go through and hit the most enemies and, you know, get the most time off your score and be competitive in those leaderboards. And whilst you progress through the game, you do unlock more abilities as well, which will help you in your quest to get the best leaderboard. So you can always go through the game, unlock all the extra powers, and then go back to the earlier levels with some mastery and more skill in the game, and perhaps some even more unlocks that help you perhaps get an even better score as you go through the game. And I like the neon aspect of the game and the colorization and the theme that they've sort of gone with, and also in particular the transitions. Like, it's very cool when you're running through the game, speeding through it, and then you hit the transition and then you still speed through it from knowing how the world's going to adapt around you to keep going, and it just looks cool as hell, and it plays pretty good as well. So, you know, you can have a lot of fun mastering the controls and mastering where to time your jumps perfectly to get through the best smashes and to keep going through the levels without, you know, minimising it. And anyone watching on with you doing all of that is just going to think, wow, how the hell are you doing that? I feel like the level design has been done very well as well. Not just with the fact that it looks like computer chips and circuit boards, and the way that it transitions is also very cool. So, you know, it zooms out at times or teleports you around or twists the level around so it looks like Rubik's Cube sort of pieces being rearranged. And I think that they've put a lot of effort into doing that, and with the neon looks as well, so it looks Tronish and very colourful and very electronic. I think they've really done very well in that. So yeah, I definitely recommend giving the game a try. I think that the artistic style and the puzzling elements of, you know, putting together how the transitions go and, you know, beating your score the best you can, I think it's all done very well, and it all feels very, very sharp, and I've had a lot of fun with it, so I definitely recommend giving it a play.